Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into this special edition of Coffee with Eddie. You know, the past month has presented just an abundance of special circumstances that our fire department, police department, the schools have had to endure and prepare for. So today, my special guest is Fire Chief Brandon Loboschefski. And I wanted to take this opportunity to, first of all, say thank you, Brandon, for all you guys are doing. Being on the front lines is probably just a little scarier than normal for you guys.
Definitely a different time, for sure.
So a couple of questions I had for you is, I know that the hospitals have special testing for COVID-19. Does the fire department have special testing? And if not, how do they know what kind of emergency circumstances they're dealing with?
No, at this time, there is no in the field testing per se on an ambulance or by crews for COVID-19. I would suspect or expect in the future we have that at some point. It could be very far down the road. We're not sure, but right now, it's just hospital-based for the most part, or if you go to a site that is testing specifically.
Got it. So what are the signs that you're looking for if you suspect somebody has COVID-19? How do you identify that?
Sure. So there's three main triggers, as we call them: fever, shortness of breath, and a cough. Now, there are a bunch of other signs and symptoms that have been associated with this virus. They can range from really anything from diarrhea to just body aches, general flu-like symptoms. So it's kind of runs the gamut of a lot of things. So we really recommend people look up on the Ohio Department of Health website, the ODH website. They have probably the best information out there, and the CDC as well, to guide people.
So I noticed in the Maumee Mirror there's an article about the precautions that the fire department is taking these days for in the event that somebody they're dealing with has COVID-19. Can you talk more about that and what you guys are doing?
Yeah, absolutely. We were very proactive very early on, along with the other area fire departments in Lucas County. And in order to stay progressive in that way, we've communicated and collaborated very effectively with one another, and it just goes to show how well our departments work together, along with the health department and the Lucas County EMS system as a whole. I also do want to stress that the healthcare workers out there in the hospital networks, doctors' offices, all throughout have done a phenomenal job, and they are really the ones that are seeing a lot of the patients and dealing with that. But as first responders, what we've had to do is continually evolve with this virus to protect ourselves. I'll show you a picture real quick on my phone. You can see that. That is a suit that we would wear, and the mask is called an APR for anybody that is experiencing COVID-like symptoms.
So it's a full body suit, hands, feet, everything.
Full body suit, correct. We've gone to that because it protects us the most, and it also protects the patient. So this is a respirator system, almost like a scuba mask.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it almost gives the appearance of almost like a NASA flight suit, even.
To an extent. Now, for every medical call that we go on, and a lot of fire departments are doing this around the area, we will wear the same, the mask, gloves, and possibly a gown. It just depends. But for the most part, any medical call, I mean, if you fall off your bike, you're going to see us in the mask. We've just gone to it 100% for all our calls, just to better protect ourselves, because we don't know who has it and who doesn't have it. It's socially spread. It's a very challenging virus. So we want to make sure that we're protecting us and the patient.
So err on the side of caution.
Absolutely.
So they're talking about an influx of people not only carrying the virus, but getting deeply ill over the next 3 to 4 weeks. At least this is what I'm seeing on the news. Is there anything else that the first responders need to be doing in order to be prepared for that? Or are we just fully prepared and ready to go now? We've done all we can possibly do.
Well, we're always evolving, but for the most part, we are very prepared. We've had a lot of behind the scenes actions that have taken place actually for many years by some key individuals in the county and at the EMA, health department, and those plans have to adapt to what's going on, and we've had to adapt a lot. There's been a lot of scrambling to get things done, but we've done a very good job with it. I have great confidence in the Lucas County Health Department, the state health department, the governor's office, all the direction we get. And then it filters down to the local level, and our local government's doing what we can. And I believe that we have done what we need to do and are prepared. They're continuing every day to meet. We have an emergency operations center that has been in for at least about a month now in operation. So there's key individuals down there working tirelessly to make sure that things are going well and planning ahead for a potential surge or more patients. And the hospital networks are really behind that as well. They have to communicate and collaborate to make sure that they're ready for an influx of patients, in which right now they are. They're telling us we are. So we've really tried to stay ahead of this.
So when you're coming up through the ranks and you're becoming a fireman and you're studying and practicing to be a fireman, are these things that you guys go through as well? Is this something that was, already in the background? It's like, okay, we're going to refer to this out of our toolbox because this is what we're prepared for?
Sort of. You can never predict anything of this magnitude, but we've always tried to adapt and overcome, and that's what we've had to do. The weapons of mass destruction threats that we've had over the years that have really challenged us have helped us prepare for things like this. But a pandemic just goes a different way, and it really challenges the healthcare system in much more different ways. So there's been a lot of planning in the background in past years. Yeah, and as an EMT or a paramedic student or a nurse or a doctor, you definitely get some education in it, but it's not until the event really comes up or happens or you've been exposed to something like this that, hey, it's real and this is what we need to do and do it well. And that's what everybody's been doing. They've executed, I think, very well.
Yeah, because no one has ever had any kind of experience here in the United States dealing with something on this level. And unfortunately, I've heard reports from area doctors throughout the country that have talked about how they felt this was coming someday, never knowing exactly when, but this seems like it was kind of our test for things that possibly could come even in the future.
Yeah, it's just the environment we live in as humans, and we understand that we're susceptible to these things. They've happened in the past, and you're right, they will continue to happen. We just need to be very proactive about it and cautious about it and educate as much as we can. The social distancing alone, as Dr. Atkins has said from the health department, is the key thing that we need to do and continue to do to save lives.
So to wrap up here, I see what you guys are doing to protect yourselves while you're going out and to protect the community. At the end of your shift, I've seen you on calls sometimes in addition to other responders. You've come back. You don't know if you've transported somebody 100% for sure if they have COVID-19. What do you have to do to kind of get out of that mode to be able to help protect your family just in case you were exposed to someone?
That's a good question. Our personnel, we have taken a lot of decontamination procedures, and we use those at the fire station when we come back. We're very thorough with that, and it goes from the time the ambulance is back in service all the way until the employee leaves the fire station for home. So there's a bunch of things, whether it's we decontaminate our ambulances ourselves, using a special UVC light, as we call it, a whole bunch of stuff, including just making sure we launder and shower and just good hygiene overall. It really is something you got to keep in the back of your mind. But if we follow those things, it's just like this simple instructions of washing your hands. We're protecting ourselves and protecting our families.
Well, we appreciate everything all of you are doing to help protect our community. And, you know, we wish you guys nothing but the safe, and God bless you guys for doing what you're doing by being on the front lines with us.
And thank you very much, Eddie, for this time. I want to definitely thank all the community for their support of their first responders and our first responders, and especially the healthcare workers out there who are really seeing it in the hospitals, in clinics and stuff that have really had to struggle through that. And then all the families that are going through this too. Our heart goes out to them, and thoughts and prayers for anybody that's had to fight this or any other disease. So hang in there. We're going to get through it together. As I say, we are Maumee.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.